Hello everybody and welcome to the results video for the penultimate round of the Automation Beam Championship hosted by Nev Cohen. My name is Josh the Trucker and I am the voice guy for this week, because I have the voice of a meteorologist, which is pretty much perfect for announcing gameplay and competition. This was the first round we did in the rain, with more coming in the following seasons, most likely. For round 2, we tested the collective field's knowledge of loose gravel and dirt driving. And for round 3, we tested their abilities to build and pilot a 90s hypercar up a tight hill climb course through the wandering roads of scenic Italy. This round proves very different, with constructors purpose-building track cars and drivers fighting heavy downpours, low traction surfaces, and their own vehicles, which proved a true test of driver skill. Let's see how it turned out. The Dreamer Motors Panamericana Muertos concept is the most powerful car on this list with an incredible 501 horsepower. It's also the second of 3 rear-engine cars on this list, and it has a double wishbone front and rear suspension, which is unconventional considering how many other brands went for pushrod. The Nefnia Racing Flow Wesp, along with having a very exotic sounding name, is one of 2 cars in the competition with partial aluminum panels due to their weight, and it also has a very interesting flowy design language, which I personally very like. The Otto Delta Reparto Corse 174 Blue Arrow is very reminiscent in its design of an Acura NSX from the 90s and early 2000s, and it got its name from its 1.7 liter inline-4 engine. The Aero Motors Aero X3 inline-4 Trackstar basically sums up all that it is in its name. It has the other of 2 light AHS steel chassis along with the Orb Razor, and it has a lightweight inline-4 engine, allowing it to be a literal track star. The Orb Automotive Razor 2011S is a very interestingly designed car, with a design language reminiscent of the Honda S2000. It also has double wishbone front and rear suspension, like the Panamericana, and is very lightweight at 832 kilos. The LH Automobili LR Division Alps LRD is one of 2 of the slowest cars to 60 at 4.8 seconds, and it is one of the most expensive cars at, again, 50k even, which is a very unfortunate combination when you think about it. The Striker Assassin R is one of the most unconventional vehicles on this list. It is the only V12, and it must be a lightweight at that, at only 2 liters. It's also the heaviest car at over 1150 kilograms, and it is the other of 2 slowest vehicles to 60 at 4.8 seconds. The Tomahawk Trident TN2 Mark IV. This vehicle is one of 3 Boxer 6 vehicles. It's also front-engined and fiberglass, sharing the podium with the Ganner Glaive and the Ferdinand PV. It's also the cheapest car at only $42,600. The Zeta Motors Akihiro Kevin is a very interesting looking car with a very beautiful design language and a very useful design language, as considering it's a hatchback, it looks like it can handle more load space than the average coupe on this list. The International Motorsport Division MP 1.5C Spartan, with a name reminiscent of a McLaren 12C, is the lightest vehicle in this competition at 825 kilograms, weighing less than the average hatchback, and is the only V10. I'm surprised you could fit that engine in there. The NMR JJMR XTR, along with having a name similar to stirring a bowl of alphabet soup around, was made by Exceed's B58, so you can expect that it has the most voted in aesthetics with 60 points again. It's one of 3 open-top cars in the competition, and it has the highest automation score with 191. The Team Ignite Artemis Redline R275 was the second most voted in aesthetics with 38 points, and it is the lowest revving car with a redline at only 7,200 RPM. It's also one of 3 open-top cars, and it is very reminiscent of a Lotus 311. The Ganner Glaive was the 3rd most voted in aesthetics with 28 points, which is interesting because it looks like a Mitsubishi and a Ford GT90 had a baby, and it has the highest sportiness of 104.7. It was also one of 2 V6 engined cars and one of 3 fiberglass cars. The Ferdinand PV Nero RS14 is on the other end of the Redline rev range at being the highest revving car with 10,500 RPM. It has the smallest engine with a 1.4 liter, so where do you get all those revs? It's one of 3 rear engine cars and one of 3 fiberglass cars. The Waffle Racing Lynx 320R had the highest automation market average with an average of 156.6 and the best market scores for light, sport, track, and track premium. And it looks very good as well. The Century Motorsport Pluto TS2 is one of the more higher achieving cars in this competition, this round of the competition, with the second highest automation markets with an average of 151.3 and the best market score for a convertible sport budget. It's one of 2 cars with partial aluminum panels and it has a push rod front and rear suspension. Complicated. The Velocita Feroce GT4. My favorite car because it's mine. It has the 3rd fastest lap on this list with a 112.1. It's the other of 2 V6 engines sharing with the Ghana Glaive. The other of 3 rear-engined cars because it's supposed to mimic Porsche, and the other of 2 AHS steel chassis. The Smons Racing Proton Track Edition had the 2nd fastest lap in this round with a 110.9 and the 3rd highest automation market with an average of 148.5 and the 3rd highest automation score in general with a 178. The Picard Motor Company Banshee TRX is the least powerful car on its list, the complete opposite of the Panamericana at 209 horsepower. It's also one of the most expensive cars at 50 grand even, and like most of the cars on this list, it has pushrod front and rear suspension. The Typin Motors T300 base model. The other of 2 inline-3 engines sharing with Thistle, the other of 3 open-top cars, the only space frame chassis car, the other of 2 AHS steel chassis, and it has a very, very interesting design language. The Thistle Gietlal SS takes the crown for this round of the championship when it comes to the fastest lap. It set a record time of 1 minute 9.3 seconds, which is unprecedented given the driver's skill and the type of track we're going on, which is the Mount Kuta wet hill climb. It had the 2nd highest automation score with 181.5, which again is very, very amazing for the score of Marmalade, or Nev, and his brand Thistle. It is one of 2 inline-3 engines, which is very interesting considering its very aerodynamic LaFerrari-like body. It's also one of 4 quickest cars, tying in with the NMR JJMR XTR made by Exige B58, the Smons Racing Proton made by Smons Smithy, and the Century Motorsport Pluto made by Teacup at 3.4 seconds for 0 to 60. It is also finally the most expensive vehicle, which is going to weigh it down at 50K. Well, for this round, the leading lineup is Marmalade, Smons, and Sir Waffle, with mostly evenly distributed scores, with Smons following up close behind Marmalade with 83 and 84 points respectively, and my own manufacturer of Velocita getting a very respectful 57 points for its first breakout attempt. For the Round 4 Drivers' Championship, the lead 3 are Marmalade with Thistle, with a lap time of 1 minute 9.3 seconds, taking 30 points. Smons Smithy with Smons Racing, taking a 111 flat and 25 points. And Petty the Yeti with my team, taking a 112.2 on our breakout attempt, getting 20 points. Behind that are AC3D Prince, the second driver for Thistle, MNF, the first driver for Century Motorsport, placing 5 places ahead of a supporting T, and Sir Waffle with Waffle Racing taking 6th place, and the Colored Cow, Senior Bent, and Bonesy rounding out the top 10. However, on the complete total constructors side, A Supporting T, Swan Smithy, and Sir Waffle are in the lead, with A Supporting T taking Marmalade's place, with a total point of an insane amount of 333. Swan Smithy is close behind with 320, taking all silvers and a bronze, and Sir Waffle is close again with taking a silver and a bronze and 283 points. My own brand is 21st, 4 blocks up considering I started 3 rounds late, with a kinda respectable 57. And now the most anticipated table to see today, the Total Drivers Championship round. With MNF, Marmalade 1, and Swan Smithy rounding out the top 3, MNF of Century Motorsport has 94 points total, being closely chased by Thistle's Marmalade with 92 points, and Smons Racing running to catch up with 76 points. The high jumper for this one is Petty the Yeti with my own Velocita Motorsport, considering our breakout attempt gets us a very well respected 20 points, landing us high above the lower half of the board and getting us a good start to end Season 2. And that is it for this round, everyone. Next week will be the final round for this season, where drivers hurdle $1 million supercars up the Devil's Playground at Pikes Peak, Colorado to decide the winner of the Constructors and Drivers Championship. See you then.